had no idea Keisuke was in this game. Oh, when you freaking ejected me again! I am... Kick me while I'm down, why don't you, Grizz? I was this close! Pet the dog. Freaking...
Nice.
Shoot me.
No, bad dog, bad! I think Grizz might be trying to kill me. This is all because of my theory of Florencia, isn't it? I know too much, I can't be allowed to live. As I understand it, this update is to fill the rest of day 16 on the good timelines, with the morning and evening bookends the same. So this isn't going to focus much on the mystery side of things, it seems. I'm starting on your route, Dean, because you were the first person in the patron list. Needless to say, I'm hoping for, but not expecting good behavior from you. I brought my bear repellent this time, so watch yourself, Smokey. As we all broke off, I followed Dean. What I didn't expect was for him to make a beeline towards the basement. Dean, why are we going down here?
Oh, I just figured we check the vault, right? We're looking for metals. It's been something you've been messing with, so maybe it give us a clue.
Dean, have you been speaking to Florencia?
Have you ever even been down here with someone when it happened?
Yes, but not on this timeline.
We could maybe try messing with it if you want.
How about no?
Yeah, alright. I'm not going to pretend this is all, I don't know, fixed by saying that. But if we start thinking that nothing's worth doing anymore because there's no point, then what's the point of anything?
Dean, where have you literally been for the last half of this game?
Truth be told, I've been kind of planning something. It's a surprise!
Is it that surprise party for Dave that Sal told us about in like 3 timelines ago? That literally has never panned out for like 3 in-game days at this point?
I know it can be a bit much.
Understatement of the year. You know, I do want to make myself clear on this. As mentally straining as I find Dean a lot of the time, I do like him. His behavior is a bit insufferable at times, but I do like the bear. Wait. Jack.
Jack?
He was out there that day with us in the woods.
That was him?
If it was, why didn't he approach me then? Oh, I don't know, Dave. Maybe it's because there was a 200-pound bear next to you. I mean, I never really thought anything about the timing. He's been casing the mansion for practically a week now and watching everyone involved. He saw Dave alone and took the opportunity to strike. It's hardly a mystery.
Come on, let's see if we can find a metal. Keep ourselves distracted.
Dean decided to poke at the input panel, but I didn't hear the telltale beep of an incorrect password being entered. Dean, what are you doing?
Just thinking.
About...
robots.
You know, something I never considered before. Dean, do you like sci-fi? Because if you do, that'll redeem you for a lot of actions in my book.
I told you how I could never figure out how to make the robots do what they do, but I could put something together, right?
Right, but this is closer to a computer.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because, well, we're in the basement. It's got me wondering just what it's connected to.
Okay, Sal, buddy, let's do this.
Do you trust that I know what I'm doing in the gym?
Yes?
Good, because we're going to the gym.
He wandered over to a large punching bag off to the side and patted it gently.
I want you to punch this.
I see what you're trying to do, Sal, and I'm entertained by this. I don't like punching the bag.
Give me a reason why.
The smugness is overwhelming. My word, this is giving Roswell a run for his money. I love it.
I want you to imagine this bag as someone or something that you hate, Dave. I want you to pretend the bag is evil.
I found myself quickly jabbing at it again the moment Jack crossed my mind.
What makes you hate this thing?
I hate that I can't go outside. I hate that I feel powerless. That I got the better of me. This thing with the vault. Then the dying. I'm sick of it.
Are you alright?
Just went a little too hard. Of all things to happen, I wasn't expecting a therapy session with Sal. I wandered out of the dining room behind a couple of others before realizing Roswell wasn't with us. Sure enough, he was standing near Oswin having a hushed conversation about something.
Perhaps it'd be best if you two talked without me eavesdropping.
What? No, Oz, no, come back! Oh. On his way past, Oswin tussled Roswell's fur and strode out without a care in the world. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at some point, and no one's going to be surprised. What was that about? Really, Dave? Okay.
When we got here, I thought this vacation would be great, or at the very least something to look back on fondly. I didn't think it'd turn out like this.
Well, I mean, you succeeded in that, Roswell. Literally no one's going to forget this.
Dave, before this vacation, you were a mess. Kinda still are. I've been so scared for that one day you'll just not show up for school or a group meeting, the next thing I hear that you'll just...
You don't think that I'd actually... Yes, he does, Dave. You've already tried it twice. And might I add that people still don't know.
The truth is, I had another reason to want to do a vacation like this. Do you remember that one winter ages ago when I got sick? Do you remember how I had to move away for a long time after?
You're alive now, you got treated, so it mustn't have been that bad.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. There's more to the story, but I'll let you figure it out on your own.
Roswell, I will yeet you through a window! You know, I get the feeling whatever secret Roswell's story of what happened when he was sick isn't going to be anywhere near as big of a revelation as the game is leading us to believe at this rate. Following breakfast, I found myself wandering upstairs with Orlando, only to watch him collapse belly first into a beanbag. You okay? How are you holding up? I mean, given you'll probably have the worst of it all out of all of us. I want to know what you saw. We're long past trying to protect me because it's dangerous. There isn't much to tell you, honest. What other leads do we have except to follow that? I
first I thought it was like some sort of VR thing. Or like one of those sci-fi rooms where you think they would need to make stuff real.
I see what you did there, Grizz.
Floor was dirty, and the place was dark. Wooden rails and a high ceiling, and the place looked abandoned.
That doesn't sound like any place in the house so far.
I don't think it was this house at all.
Dave, are you sure you need to know about this? It's kind of making me sick a little.
I told you there was a bear there, I think, right?
You said you weren't sure if it was Dean or not.
It was dark, so I couldn't tell, but it seemed to be chuckling or laughing about something.
When I was out in the woods, I found a water mill. Really run down, but mostly stone. Then underground there were these large machines. Metal and some stone, concrete maybe.
That doesn't sound safe.
Oh, believe me, Orlando, I'm expecting something epic to happen there eventually. Grizz, make something epic happen. You know, now that we have information that Dean at least assumedly is the one that was in the vision, looking through my notes, it's got me wondering if this is what's going to happen on day 18 now.
Sounds like you're planning on finding it.
Oh, believe me, Orlando, yes I am. Alright, Oz, let's do this. Save the best for last. I followed close behind Oz, lingering only a few steps behind. It seemed as though he had an idea of where he wanted to go. I was already closing the door behind me for privacy when I noticed him going to the bookshelf, opening the passage to the library. Well, you got over the shock of everyone finding out you knew about the library pretty quick. The medals, right. Figured we'd have a look in the library. After all, I don't think anyone's given that place a proper look. You never know, we could get lucky and find a medal. With the track rate we've had with the other characters so far, Haas, I kind of doubt it. Look around for the medal, maybe. I mean it, go over to the bookshelf and start looking. How will we know what we're looking for? A medal should probably stand out among all these books, right? I mean, it didn't for Roswell. Maybe consider it like cleaning your room. Rearrange stuff, see where stuff goes. But my room is tidy already. Tyson says otherwise. Sure, maybe I shove a bunch of stuff under my bed, but at least you can't see the mess.
That's a metaphor if I've ever heard one.
You found Taurus under a pumpkin after all. Maybe they just dropped it when they planted the pumpkin? And Aquarius in the hedge maze? How would you even lose that? Benson knew where it was, so these things can't just be lost. Haas, you sweet summer child, you haven't figured it out yet. This is all a game of space-time and continuumness, of metaphysics and thermodynamics and all that sci-fi garbage that Florencia does. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they're not important at all. So the fact that they're zodiacs doesn't matter. A bunch of people are fascinated by the stars after all, the expanse of space and whatever. I feel slightly called out. You probably know this house better than any of us, right? Because of the thing? Well, I didn't know that Benson wasn't the owner, at least. When we were there to shoot, he was just in normal clothes? To be fair, I wasn't really thinking of that stuff. Me and the other guy on set, well, we were the first ones to show up to the actual cast anyway. Much like me, he was disappointed when the whole thing got called off. Not sure if I told you or not, but he might have been one of Dean's cousins, maybe. I understood that reference. But still, Benson owning the place. Really? Would I lie to you about that? Yes. Yes, you would. Yes? No, I get it, but when I arrived here, the first time I mean, no butler.
20 minutes later.
Dave, book going alright? Because I found something you might want to see. Not what I had in mind, but given the light, no surprise. He dangled from a finger a medal, dusty but unmistakable, having seen the others just like it. Well dang, Haas! You actually did find one! I'm impressed. There was one here after all? Honestly, it was just sitting on a shelf. I'm gonna like this. There may not have been a whole lot this update, but dang, I think I'm going to like what's going to happen the next couple days. Before we jump into things, given we didn't get an update last month, I've had ample time to think over some points of this game's mystery, so let's do a quick rundown, shall we? First off, Roswell. Listen here, you little hobgoblin. It's pretty clear you're related to Oz at this point. Like, I'm not even gonna be fazed by the revelation when it happens. So after much consideration, I have finally come to the realization that Oz is not your father. Reginald was. Of course, you didn't know Reginald or the Hammonds like that, likely he was dead shortly after you were born or something. But that would put you in the same metaphorical boat as Dave. Not to mention it would explain how you were sick and magically got better. Poetic, ain't it? Next, Orlando, buddy, pal, friendo, absolute unit of a dragon. I got some bad news for you, Florida man. It didn't register when I recorded last time, but I finally realized that little detail you remembered from your vision was actually important. Roswell being with you when finding Dave's body meant that the event hasn't happened yet. So I'm probably right, that might just happen come day 18. Also, given my theory on Florencia, it hit me the other day that the notion that if she is indeed the metaphorical mirror of Dave, but you know, murdery, that actually ties Tyson's relevance into the plot drastically. Because if I'm right, Florencia is doing all of this for her dead brother by adoption. Which would mean everyone in the primary cast has some sort of direct connection to the plot. Except for one. You know, I was thinking about what I said last time me and Dean hung out, and I realized something. I really don't trust you now. You're all nauseatingly supportive and kind and whatever all the time, yet out of everyone in the last update, you're the only one that suggested Dave use the vault. I didn't think anything of it at first, but you know dang well how much that traumatized him. So why would you, of all people, suggest that? About the medals, no less. I honestly wouldn't put it past him at this point that he's in connection with Florencia. Not in a nefarious way, mind you. I don't think Dean's evil. But it wouldn't shock me if she reached out to him under the guise of helping Dave. I'd be more than willing to believe Dean's naive enough to believe her. Either way, the bear is sus as heck and I don't trust him. Also, because some people on the server wouldn't shut up the day before release, I know there's gonna be a password today. So there's that. I am going to scour every inch of this update. I will not fail the good timeline. I'm too far in for people to die now. Anyway, on with the update. As I sat up in bed, I felt troubled, but in the strangest way, I felt something calling to me. That I am 2 clicks in! Are we already going to the vault? Are you serious? What harm was there in punching in a few words? Oh, my freaking word, Dave. Okay, it's 5 clicks in. Game time. Okay, has to be something. Death, maybe? I question how we're ever going to solve the mystery as Dave sometimes.
Point!
Ah, I've been looking forward to spending time with you, little buddy.
Oh, don't worry. You're gonna be spending days before this is over.
Nothing. What are you doing?
Was about to ask you the same thing.
You know, just thought I'd try some words, see if I could get it working. Induce some mental trauma.
You're not gonna get anywhere if you spend all day down here hoping for some answers.
Well, what do you suggest? This is the only thing keeping my friends alive.
Outside, you need to take me somewhere close.
You can't go there yourself.
I'm a rat, Dave. I have tiny legs. Come on.
Before I had a chance to say otherwise, he was already scrambling up my leg pants, moving to cling onto my shoulder. Oh, we're gonna get to spend the day together. I love this.
Well, too bad.
Having all the extra weight on my shoulders made it difficult to head up the stairs at first. Seriously, Dave? He's a rat. You're heavy.
Nah, you just don't exercise. Can't be overheard out here. Last thing I want is the wrong person overhearing and making that a problem for neither of us.
This is happening so much faster than I thought it was going to. This update has gone from 0 to 50 in 5 seconds. Wow, what didn't you want overheard?
So, turns out you dying doesn't get me what I want.
What?
Let's just say I'm in the mood to be helpful. Don't really want the chopper squad in the house shooting up the place.
What? Chopper?
You wanna know some stuff about me, eh?
Well, yeah, like, why'd you give you a collar to talk?
So I could.
I don't really know what I expected.
You want to use the vault? Then you're gonna need my help.
Okay.
You have a date tonight with the vault. Checked it before coming to meet you, but there's a password for today.
What the heck are you?
I might not get out much, but boy do I get a kick of watching you do what you do.
I am both loving this and having an incredibly hard time trying to figure out what he's playing at.
Tell you what, I have something that might interest you. You know, your mom was here a while back.
What? Oh, okay. That's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's too early. We're only 20 minutes in. It's too early for me to get excited. It's fine, carry on. So about my mom.
Rocked up one night, wanted to talk to Oswin about a year ago.
Only thing that happened around that time was...
Don't know, don't care. I got bored after she started begging.
How can I believe you about her being here?
I think there are bigger things to worry about now, though.
Right, the vault.
You want the word to the vault, you have to think about what could traumatize you. What could scar you so much that it lasts over time and space.
That could be anything.
Jeez, you're dense.
I'm really glad to hear someone else say that. Cutting Roswell off was the sound of Tyson yelling upstairs, followed soon after by the sound of Orlando yelling back.
That sounds bad.
Yet another yell came from upstairs.
You should get going before they tear the house down.
Tyson and Orlando, this is gonna be interesting.
I told you it's too loud. It's only at 10%.
Are you two really fighting over the television volume? I am sacrificing time I could have with Thanatos right now for television volume. Looking between the two, Tyson seemed irritated. Wait. Volume. Oh no. Oh no, this is actually important. My notes were right. My notes.
Oi, get up. First you nearly crushed me and then lay here sleeping.
My face hurt, and as Thanatos reeled back to slap me across the face again, I flinched.
Finally.
How long have you been hitting me? My face hurts.
Last count. Just figured you'd eventually wake up.
How long was I asleep? What happened?
You tell me. You were talking to your wolf friend, and the next thing I know, you're landing face first on the floor. Well, the way I see it, at least you have a lead now.
I should go check on Orlando and Tyson, figure out this password thing. Tyson makes sense. He would have been the first one to hear it. He'd be able to describe it better. Are you okay?
Look, I'm worried. I don't know what's going on, and all I know is this headache is bad. I'll just go find a quieter room to lounge in.
Rest up, we'll talk later. Tyson, Dave. You had one job, Dave. So it was a headache.
Do you really think that?
No, I don't. Tell me something. You know about the vault visions and stuff.
Why do you want to know?
You're intentionally making this difficult.
Next step would be the dragon. Unless you feel like you've gotten everything you need from this already. I'll be listening, but don't expect me to help interrogate him.
Probably should, considering Dave is completely incompetent at doing it. When I got to the rec room, I could hear the sound of a game being played, along with the sound of muttering coming from inside. Hey, Orlando.
What happened? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Blacking out is not fine, Dave. You've been messing with the vault lately.
A little, but like,
How much is a little?
what was it like for you, using the vault? Not the vision part, but the rest.
I don't really remember. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I think.
Orlando wandered back over to his game, and I nodded myself, wandering back to my room to mull things over.
That was a waste of time. Tell me one thing that he told us that would have been useful.
Yeah, tell me about it. Both accounts were a waste of time. Dave is a horrible investigator. You already know what's in the vault, so do I have enough?
Maybe a pep talk, but yeah, you've got everything you need. What do you think?
About what?
About the password. Moment of truth, after all. Can't tell you that whatever you need to put in relates to the friends of yours.
If the vision related to Tyson and Orlando, how would Thanatos know? How could I even trust him? Yes. What he knows wasn't as important as him knowing. I disagree with that sentiment completely.
Well, this is dire.
You're not helping! Who was the closest to what I was going to fear in that moment? Orlando. I don't know, I can't do this!
I mean, whatever happens is your fault. Your cowardly dragon friend and that feral wolf, too.
If I was certain I could move fast enough, I'd punt him across the room, but I didn't want the risk of getting bitten.
Come on, Junior. Time's ticking.
Okay. There... I only have one word left. It can't... Holy crud. Okay. Don't look at me while I struggle like this, you freaky little rat. I'm not leaving until I get this.
And you call yourself a wall master.
I did... Just shut up! Every note I took is wrong. Every single... The things that were the obvious solutions based on previous passwords we've had didn't work. I have no idea. I can't. I don't know.
That's a shame.
Help me!
I told you, kid, that's not how this works. Guess we'll just have to see what happens, huh? I was gonna get you something while you're unconscious, but give me a couple minutes and I'll go get it.
He kicked what looks like a card towards me and I knelt down to pick it up. Oh, this! It's my dad's license.
Let's see, must have been about a year ago, maybe a little more than that. I had a chat with Osmond and left later that night. Don't know what you expect me to tell you. I'm just a rat that can talk, not a mind reader.
Oh, screw off! You have got to know something.
What if I'm not a rat?
Want me to punt you across the room to find out?
I'm different. Idea was the same, made different though. But anything like those other rats wouldn't cut it. You sure you're even talking to me? Deus Ex Machina. I am the vault.
What?
What, no fanfare? Fine.
You're a conduit?
Think of it this way, I'm like the governing system behind how it all works, yeah?
Okay, you're a conduit.
Gotta admit, I expected a bit more of a reaction out of you. I wasn't kidding when I said I don't need to make stuff up. Also, just ignore the fact that I'm not talking in all caps anymore. I remember everything programmed in.
But if you're saying you can see everything, then that door never opens. What the heck, Dave? You're an idiot half the time, but then you just pull something random like that out. You're just a robot.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's a Fazbear. He's a freaking Fazbear!
One part taxidermy rat, one part endoskeleton, and one part wildly modified open source AI.
Open source? I was right. I freaking knew that I couldn't trust the bear! Because you, being a little robot, means that the only way that Dean connects to this story is through you. I'm gonna ask Osmond about my parents. That's at least something I can check, given I have the license as proof. Knock knock, Oswald. Time to fess up!
To what do I owe the pleasure, Dave?
To punctuate my point, I put my dad's license on the desk and slid it closer.
So you're pretending to be your father now, shaking me down for information. If you want to know why your dad was here, I'll tell you. It happened only a handful of times, but he was looking into the Noble family as part of an ongoing investigation. I showed him the vault. Much like any reasonable person scoffed the idea the machine like that could work. While not in the same vein as to what Orlando saw, it was much the same. He saw his precious son die and refused to believe it. It was a shootout. At least that's what he surmised from what he saw. So on another visit, he came back and asked me what we could do to change that from happening. The unfortunate truth of it all was that he was certain he was going to die. He made the decision to go confront Memphis on his own and, well,
he never came home.
I'm sorry for that, Dave. After a while, your mother, Carol Holloway, came to the door late one night. She somehow found out I'd been talking with David, had heard about my work, and much like Memphis, assumed it was some sort of miracle time machine that could bring her husband back. All I could do was disclose what I knew and hoped it would help.
I don't really know what to think now. I mean, I feel I should be happy, because all this means part of my case file theory was right. David was keeping things from his son to keep him safe, and he ended up being a hero, but unless Oz is lying, which I don't know why he would at this point, David actually is dead. I'm not really happy to have been right about that. It really bothers me that I wasn't able to get the password, because I know that now I'm surely on some bad timeline. I'm no longer on the good one, and I have no idea what the password could have been. I tried everything. People are gonna die. People are gonna die, and I have no idea why. I can't give up. Okay, time to get to work. What? That was the password? I don't know whether to be happy or relieved that this is finally over. It's finally over. I'm sorry. I don't really know why I'm laughing. At the edge of my vision, I could barely make out the distinctive yellow of Orlando's scales in the dim light. Or rather, what was left of him. Thanatos?
Was hoping you'd be awake by the time I got back.
Oh, good. You brought the license to us. Cool, thanks.
Before I forget, you're in luck, you know. Full moon isn't.
Thanatos, I swear to everything holy, after what I've been through, you taught me one more time Oswin is gonna be the least of your problems.
Oi, don't yell at me if you want me to explain.
I already know all this, you infernal little rat.
Don't ask me, I'm just a rat.
I want to strangle him. I want to strangle the little rat. Actually, no, I take that back. I'll strangle the tanuki first, then I'll strangle the rat.
Tell me something. Why'd you give up so easy about why I can talk way back when?
Seemed impolite to ask why you could talk when... Well, why wouldn't you be able to talk? Dave, are you... I don't... It's like a switch with him. So many times, Dave will just pull something out of the blue and remember something like the jammer or making a connection with Thanatos like a little while ago. And then other times, he'll just be like,
I thought all rats in the world talk since I never asked. Why did my dad talk to you and not the mobsters that wanted to kill him?
I mean, my word, Dave, you have graduated school. You're almost 20 years old. You're old enough to pay taxes. You are smart enough to figure this mystery out. Get a freaking grip. You said something about a full moon before, right?
That's right, not for a couple nights, so you got time.
How do I stop Tyson becoming that? Dave, just leave him be. He has literally not helped us at all. What are you planning on doing now? What do vaults even do in their spare time?
Probably return to my cage to recharge a battery.
I'd hate to imagine where the plug goes. Without another word, he scurried off out of the room and into the dark of the basement beyond. The mystery, the story of this update was freaking amazing. Thanatos, I loved him. I hate him. I freaking want to talk to him again and do this again. That password. Freaking... Grizz, why? I mean, I saw I get it, but that was not fair. Benson was mildly challenging. Day 10 was mildly challenging because it made you think. Day 12 was also mildly challenging because it made you think. This was...
Yeah, it's been a while since I did his voice. Gotta get into the voice. Got all I've got. Oh boy.
Man, this update came about fast. Maybe that's just because we waited 2 months instead of 1 before. Either way, I'm not complaining. I am psyched for this update because I've heard all the teases of what's gonna happen. I've never been this excited for death before. Probably shouldn't say that out of context. Now for the real mystery of password, though. Do I have any saves on the bad time light? Oh, Benson. Hey.
Today's the day, Dave. I hope you're ready.
We are not. He led me to the dining room and sat me down. A few minutes later, he was back again with some tea and plain bread. Huh, that's what Tyson did before. He slid across the table a knife and a leather sheath. Well, Benson. That's a bit morbid, but okay. That also wins. But it was in his chest.
Yes, ready yourself, Dave. So take what time you need over the next hour when you're ready to meet me outside.
There was a bitter chill in the morning air as I stepped out into looking around.
I'll trust you're ready, Dave.
Yes, we're ready, Benson. And yes, I'm also continuing this bit. I held the knife close as we crossed the tree line into the forest, leaving the mansion behind.
Hold on, Dave.
Why are we stopping here?
Just have to gather myself. It's been a while.
Since you went on a walk? Dave, you're an idiot. Finally taking a seat down on the ground, I flinched and reached underneath me to see what I sat on. Oh! Wait, no, there are timelines.
It's one of Falswin's.
Because you're the one that took it?
Well, no. I may as well have.
The sun snapped from nearby and made us freeze and look around. Oh, Jack's here. The twig snapping is enough of a running gag at this point, I can tell it's him.
Be very, very quiet.
As the mill came into view, I stopped, looking at the structure ahead of us. A few minutes later, Benson made his way back over. Sal? Sal. Hello, Sal. You're back from the dead. Forget about that part where I murdered you. No hard feelings. If Tyson was somewhere nearby, I should be able to figure that out, right? I could try calling out, I could try to smell him, I could wander inside to see for myself. What are you planning? I rushed forward without thinking. All I was doing was following my nose. The scent of blood made me worry.
Oh, welcome. So good to see you.
You're a dead wabbit.
Benson threw the parcel. What parcel?
Come on, open it.
What the heck is happening right now? It was the rat from the lab. Well, I mean, technically Benson did bring Jack the vault.
Good, it's here. Well, don't need the rest now, do we?
Bang echoed around us, and suddenly Benson was on the ground.
And there, business done.
Oh, wow, that...
You don't know how much of a relief it is knowing the butler's out of the way.
He who laughs west.
Very dangerous, I'll have you know.
Oh, good grief. Where are the shots coming from? It was dusty, and the smell of blood was stronger inside. Even with the knife still in my hands, I was too scared to bring myself to do anything.
Here we go. One dog, all for you to take.
He patted me on the back in the direction of a conveyor. Oh gosh! As I approached, my blood ran cold upon seeing Tyson slumped there. Tyson's fine, he's probably fine.
That did not age well. You done having your fun?
Hello?
Brian? Get going, kid. Back to the mansion you crawled from. We don't need you anymore.
It was like I was on autopilot, running through the woods, hoping I was even going in the right direction. I'll admit I wasn't expecting this update to be a crossover episode. I genuinely thought that Tyson would be alive. You're back. But where's Tyson? Where's Benson?
Us, Orlando guys, listen. We're the last ones left. We gotta scram like now.
Leaning on Orlando for support, we got out of the mansion, leaving it behind us. Okay, we should almost be there. The road, you mean? Before I could continue, we heard a twig snap.
Jeez, those guys are fast. Oh, we caught up. Awesome.
You.
Me. Hey, kid. Got a message for you. Dad says hi.
Holy.
Well. See us.
Oh, this is a slaughter. Oh my word. I felt cold metal at the back of my head. Good job, boys. Well, that wrapped up a lot faster than I thought it was going to. Okay. Well, we learned a couple things. The person out in the woods with Jack is not Florencia, apparently, but Brian from Echo. Not the crossover I was expecting, but okay. Next, judging by the red text, Memphis is also here. Wow, there's so many more people in the woods than I thought there was. You know, I think the thing that's like the most shocking about all this is that because of how long this story is, the idea of these characters dying is more of a novelty to the mystery rather than a reality. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because while it definitely makes the impending danger feel non-existent, it does mean that when it does hit, it hits like a frickin' truck.
Try not to worry. We'll find him.
Oh, we'll find him all right, Sal. Who's ready for death and despair again?
A salt break if you would. Okay.
Their voices were hushed, looking to me and only getting a nod in reply. 0. I was already wandering over to the river that ran by the clearing that we had found ourselves in, looking down the water.
What's that anyway?
I looked over to Sal, gesturing to the small bundle Benson had been carrying with him. Oh, don't worry about that, Sal. It's the corpse of a rat. Perfectly normal.
It's what they're after, although.
That's interesting, actually. That means Thanatos is directly connected to the vault. I mean, obviously we knew he is the vault, right? But that means that he also could act like a key somehow. Benson gestured for the two of us to linger our ways back as he approached carefully. Here we go again. As I went to rush forward, Sal grabbed me from behind, a solid hand on my shoulder stopping me from advancing. Thank you, Sal.
That's just asking for trouble.
Not admitting you could have given away the element of surprise we may have had by declaring it so loudly.
I struggled against Sal and pulled away, rushing forward. Okay, I blame Sal for that one.
Good to see you again.
It happened so fast and he'd been so quiet that I didn't realize that Sal came around from the side, grabbing Jack and quickly pinning him against his front.
You go, Sal!
Before I could say anything, a large bear grabbed Benson. Benson's gun and bundle tumbled to the ground. He was grabbed roughly around the neck. Jack, meanwhile, was cackling madly to himself, not even trying to get away. The knife in my hand felt heavy, unsure what I should do. Near where I was still on the ground was Benson's gun. Welp! Let's see if you stay dead this time, Sal. I made a move for Benson's gun.
What is this? Little Iron's got some guts.
I rushed over to Benson. He was wild, bracing himself on all fours and hacking up blood, but he seemed fine enough.
Doggone you, school you with a Wasco, I'll get you. Bang, bang, bang!
Well, at least he doesn't have a thick skull like Brian did.
Well, at least now we can consider it a trade, right?
Dave, we're leaving. There's nothing here for us.
Jack bolted, retreating behind cover and out of sight before Benson could line up his shot again. Soon enough, the mansion was in sight. We'd made it back without anything else happening, but we weren't clear just yet.
You're back. Yes, we're back. Although not without some bad news. Both Sal and Tyson are no longer with us.
What even happened out there? Absolute chaos, Haas. That's what happened this update. I don't even know how I'm going to edit this video so it'll be funny. Good grief. Okay, we met the two of them last time. The bear is dead, hopefully. Jack is no doubt going to show up, but now what? If someone has to go first, I guess I volunteer.
Go! What do you want to go for?
As fast as I had seen him, Benson already had his gun out and fired off a shot.
Gonna have to aim better than that, Benny boy.
Come on out or I'll blow your head off.
Interesting claim. How many bullets are left, I wonder?
Well, what do you know? No more bullets.
He rushed forward, a bullet clipping his ear as he weaved forward enough so Benson couldn't get a clear shot. But Jack pulled out a second knife. With a final leap, Jack plunged the knife into Benson's chest and used the momentum to take them both over the edge of the cliff. What in the... Okay, I knew the rabbit was crazy, but my freaking word! Nothing but silence that came to follow for a few minutes as Orlando and I edged closer to Huss. Oh, don't cry, Huss, it's okay. Well, I mean, Benson's dead, so it's not okay, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it on another timeline.
Did that really just happen? Do you think?
No, kids, that's drop right fatal.
Orlando paled at the voice, and it wasn't one I recognized either. Not at first. Orlando's father, Memphis Noble. I think I know how I'm gonna make the video funny now.
Ain't so bad. There are worse ways to go.
Like, okay, you know what, Dave? I'm not responsible. You walked into that. Whatever happens now happens because of you. Okay, well,
Oh, please, he's my friend. I'll do anything, just don't hurt him.
Yeah, this won't hurt at all.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by.
yeah, okay, well, okay then. You know what I want to know? How the heck is Memphis even here? Either Memphis has been here the whole time, or there's another way up the mountain. If Memphis was here the whole time, he's too stupid to pull this whole sneaky stuff off. Jack said it was the old guy's job to be patient, though. I wonder if... what if he's not talking about Memphis? What if he's talking about Tennessee instead? You're back. Yes, Haas, we're back for the third time.
We don't have time. Things are bad.
How bad?
Orlando, do you see Benson with us? Before anyone could answer Orlando's question, the back door was kicked in.
Fancy place. How are you two so fast? Would have thought you'd have locked the back door.
You!
Nail loose hands.
Okay, bye, Haas. Okay. Well, that gives me all the answers that I need to know. That answers the question that's been plaguing me of why he knew Haas. TV actor to mobster for hire. That's gonna look interesting on a resume.
Starting the fun with that, my boys.
Hello again, Memphis.
Hey, Sal, long time no see.
Hello.
See, fellas, there's a good kid. You know what?
Then his gun turned to me.
Who's going to be your patsy?
I'm listening.
Keep this hyena alive and you can pin it on him.
What? You freaking what?
Alright. I won't shoot the hyena. But you're joining the family. Okay.
Well, Orlando's dead, Haas is dead, and Sal's betrayed us. This is an interesting timeline, I must say.
It was the only thing I could think of to stop him from shooting you. Please, Dave. Go get help.
Well, okay. Okay. Oh. I don't like how casually Memphis kills Orlando. I mean, I get it, but like, it's so ruthless, so much so that it's kinda unbelievable. Like, as much as he may hate Orlando, he's still his son. I feel like these instances are missed opportunity to show a mild weakness of Memphis with some hesitation. Right now he guns down everyone so quick you don't even have time to revel in his character. I looked around at the graveyard to all the numerous markers and the few people milling about. But that's when I noticed someone that looked strange among the markers, and I was approaching before I realized I was doing it. Excuse me, Huh! Well, hello! You're not quite what I expected. Sorry, I thought you were someone else.
Oh, that's quite all right, Dave.
You are slightly disturbing. And I'm totally into it. You know my name.
But of course I do, dear. Although I suppose you were quite young. My name's Florencia. And this here is Reginald. Or at least, where he lays to rest. Forgive me for being a little, how should I put this? Less inclined to believe that this is the end? I didn't think things would end up this way. But that's just life, isn't it?
Can I ask you something?
Ask or accuse?
I did... Are you the reason they're all dead?
Come now, Dave. Do you really think I did much of anything?
I don't trust you.
You talk very weirdly. Well, I admit I may have set the whole thing in motion to some extent, but there was no meticulous planning or really any overseeing on my part.
Every alarm in my head is going off right now.
You know what you remind me of? You remind me of Jack. How he's all cute and smiley, and then he pulls out a knife. No doubt you have discovered a certain room in the basement. The only thing that could really save my younger brother from himself.
My friends died. Oswin and Benson died. Because you gambled on something?
Is it really a gamble when it's an eventually? Random variance isn't very important when probing what options are available to us. The exact inverse of troubleshooting, really. Given the goal is to find a possibility that by all means shouldn't exist. But if all variables are accounted for, and we know them all, no matter how many loops around the system we may go, that logical conclusion will never change.
I don't get it.
You will be alright, Dave. Eventually.
I don't... This story, this mystery hits me, and I don't know what to say. Because my mind is too jumbled and cluttered with all the nonsense that goes on. I don't trust her. I don't trust her one freaking bit. It makes me wonder how much of what she said was true, though.
This is gonna mess up my walls so bad.
I'm interested to see how Oz is gonna react to Michael Jackson showing up at his doorstep.
There are more than just the rabbit that showed up. One of them is already dealt with, but the last comes with the cost of losing Sal in the process.
They've shown their hand, and I wonder how long it will be before they realize we've duped them.
I'll admit I was expecting them to balk at the rat, but without flinching, he knew where to look.
We have a problem.
Rabbit in the backyard!
Benson, with gun in hand, cautiously made his way over to the back door.
How's it looking out there, Benson?
For the time being, he has made a move, but he doesn't look too happy.
Well, let's go see what he wants.
Oz! No! Haas rushed back in with some knives, handing the hunting knife to me while handing the cleaver to Orlando.
We won't actually have to use these, will we?
Depends, you know how to use them?
Memphis, can you please stop showing up? I'm running out of Michael Jackson songs. Quick, inside! Yeah, plus that. Okay.
You gonna go around too? How dare you come to my house?
Sounds of gunfire and fighting echoed from outside. Well, Benson's probably going John Wick mode again.
Just the man I was wanting to see. What else could you possibly want now? Can't use it if it's still in your house. And if I refuse? Want more kids to die because of you?
You'll have to shoot me first.
Fine by me.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Will people please stop predicting the future? Benson finally rushed in from outside, pointing his gun at Orlando's dad.
Oh boy, I got him, I got the weapon.
I could shoot the kid, take a bullet from that pea shooter your butler has. This changes nothing.
Indeed, Benson shifted his gun to point directly at Oswin instead. I am freaking living for this. I love this.
You need Oswald alive in case you can't get the vault to work.
Fine, get out. But I know how to find you if I need to.
I asked if we should contact the police, and Oswin said not to bother, instead calling someone else while Benson took me aside. Okay, we're fast-forwarding again. Hello again, Oz.
I thought I'd find you here when you weren't at your house.
Why were you looking for me? Did something happen?
Well, the situation has changed, I'll say that much. You lost most of your friends in the span of a few days, boy. Such loss does things to a man.
Why are you still wearing a lab coat?
Because I haven't given up. Or maybe it's perhaps I'm willing to give it another go, but I could use some help. Feel like rebelling a little? If the police won't help, maybe there's one other avenue we could try.
I don't know what you have planned, Oz, but yes, I am all for it.
The point is that we need to make sure that if this whole universal reset theory has any weight, that we don't end up here on a second time repeating this conversation. There's no changing the past, Dave. You can only change the future. What do you say, Mr. Holloway? It wouldn't be the first time I rebelled, and it won't be the last. Not today.
That was... Geez, what I said was right. When Memphis shows up, bodies hit the floor fast. There are a few things to this mystery that we learned, and Florencia, I don't know what to feel with her. I'm excited that we finally got to meet her, but there's something really unnerving about her. My theory hasn't changed. My idea that she is behind all of this has not changed. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm looking forward to the next time we meet Florencia again. I don't really know what's going to be in this update. We only got Tyson's day 18 this time around, so it'll probably be shorter. At least it should be easier to edit than the last one. Then again, I've thought some updates were gonna be simple, then Grizz slams me with 5 hours of content. Also, we got the new UI now! I really like how it turned out. It looks really clean and dynamic, and it's gonna be a pain in the butt to pull video editing magic with. I still say, though, that we should have Dave in the corner. It would just breathe so much life into his character if we could see him whenever he talked. I know Grizz claims he didn't want to because of some big reveal later, and while I have an idea of what that might entail, I got the feeling that that reveal is gonna be about as shocking as we inevitably find out that Oz and Roswell are related. So I still say Dave should be on the UI. As powerful as the reveal might turn out to be, I question if the return will be worth the cost Grizz thinks it will be. That is so menacing. I freaking love it. As I opened my eyes, my head was killing me with a splitting headache. Okay, so according to my notes, the sound traps went off yesterday. I don't know if they're supposed to go off today. Dean's voice echoing out from the dining room alerted me to someone else at least being up. When I took my first step into the dining room, though... Well, good morning, Mr. Orson. I see you met your soul connection to the story.
Good morning.
Actually, no, that's not entirely true. Because the other connection to the story is Dominic. That's gonna be a hard habit to break. What are you doing?
Was just enjoying a cup of coffee when this little guy showed up.
I looked at Thanatos, uncertain. All he did was give me a look somewhere between annoyance and a plea for help. Please give me an option to out the rat. Should you really be messing around with a rat you found?
Can't be a wild one. He has a collar. Makes him a pet, right?
Again, I looked at Thanatos, who seemed just about ready to bite something. A set of lazy footfalls entering the room distracted the both of us from Thanatos still on the table.
Hey Osmond, I found this rat. Does he belong to you? He may as well.
I'm waiting for the moment. I'm waiting for the moment that Thanatos speaks.
Yes, well, I'll be taking him back now.
He was unceremoniously shoved into one of Osmond's pockets and out of sight in a flash.
He's prone to misbehaving. Hey, so, do you reckon that he knows the rat isn't alive?
Well, what do you know, Dean? You're not as dumb as you look.
Well, it looks alive, but it's not. It's gotta be robotic.
I drank from my coffee and wondered why Thanatos had come to the dining room. Dean's the only one here. Thanatos was startled when we came in. He wanted to be with Dean alone. I don't freaking trust the bear! Okay, time for us to take a crack at this. Ty? I'd seen him wander downstairs, which to me read he was heading to the gym. But as I looked around, he wasn't here. Are you down here?
What do you want?
Good to see you too, Tyson. Nice that you're actually alive for a change.
Not now, my head's hurting.
Wonder if that means the sounds are still going off. After yesterday, I just want to make sure you're okay, and...
What?
Do you have any reason to kill Orlando? He was a little stunned by the question, but seemed to think about it.
So Orlando's gonna die next?
That's what the vault showed me.
Was there anything else?
Something else came up yesterday, but I'll need you to come up to my room for it. I like the role reversal here. First time we saw the license was when Tyson showed it to us. Now we're doing it the opposite.
Oh, it's quieter in here.
Well, yeah, duh, the rooms are padded.
My room has this kind of high-pitched buzz to it. Drives me nuts.
Interesting. So obviously who's ever controlling these sounds is clearly targeting Tyson specifically. Not that we didn't already know that, but they're trying to be covert about it. Let's put a pin in that. I want to show you this other thing. So I, found this yesterday.
David's license.
He was here, Ty. Multiple times. When I asked Oswin, he said it was stuff regarding work, an investigation or something, but that's not the reason he kept coming back. Dad knew he was gonna die. He came here the night it happened. Tyson's nose scrunched and he started to snarl.
He came here knowing he was gonna die. After talk me out of everything.
The idea that his room was loud or confused me, but it bothered me enough today. I wanted to see for myself, if only to check. Finding myself in his room was strange without him being in it, but the room didn't sound any different, even when I closed my eyes to focus. As far as I could tell, it was just the same as any other room.
What are you doing?
Thanatos?
What?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I asked you first.
I was checking Tyson's room.
He's not here.
Listen, you little discount Pez dispenser. As much as I love you, I've had it up to here with you from the last update. Freaking give me a straight answer. Time to start looking for the source of the sound. You can tell me why you're here while I look.
Fat chance that's going to happen.
You know what's got me concerned about Thanatos through all this? He's a robot, so he doesn't feel any type of emotions. It's got me questioning what side he's playing for exactly. As such, I'd be able to label him as a clinical psychopath, someone who lacks complete compassion and empathy. So that being said, it would make sense that he'd only be out for his own interests. He said last time that Dave dying didn't get him what he wanted. Though what would a computer want? He was already talking with Dean this morning, so clearly the bear is connected to this somehow, or at least Thanatos is trying to get him connected to it. And now he's here in Tyson's room where the sounds are emanating from. What is this Tinker Toy rat's angle?
Expecting to see a monster under the bed?
I want to punt this rat through a window, I freaking swear. I'm hoping to find something to hint towards what Tyson is hearing.
Those times you heard us one? That was me under your bed.
Okay, one, I already knew that, but two, that means you're able to mimic other people's voices. Oh my, that That opens up a number of terrifying possibilities. Were you in his room this morning?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanatos went deathly still. He was... That explains why Dave was able to hear it, because he was freaking pocketing the source!
You little piece of...
Why, though? I covered my ears as suddenly a high-pitched tone sounded. Okay, stop!
You sure?
Quit it! What was that?
You wanted my best approximation of what could play.
So it was you. Why?
I was just following orders.
I freaking knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew it!
My master wanted to run a test and let me pick the parameters. Don't really know when I came up with the idea, but this isn't the first time.
Your master. I can tell that you want me to think that's Oz, but he has no reason to do that. So even after yesterday, you still went through with tormenting Ty.
Cause I'm doing what I was programmed to do.
Some wildly open source AI you are.
You try waking up for the first time in the timeline and already know everything about your master before you even introduced. All I was told was to push Tyson into going nuts at full moon by hiding in his room. What should matter is what you intend on doing about my commands telling me to mess with your friend.
I command you to tell me what your commands are. Yeah, that's good, Dave. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Points for trying, kiddo. Good. Maybe we'll both get what we want.
Wait, what? You say you're being commanded, that you don't have any free will, but then you say that you want something. What?
Good. I have someone I need to check in with too. So open the door for me and we can leave.
Okay, so first thing that comes to mind, just throw the rat in the microwave and we'll be done with it. He's a freaking robot anyway, not like he can die anyway. Dinner was, funnily enough, ordinary. With the exception of Oswin and Benson, everyone else was here. Oh yeah, I forgot he wasn't here anymore. Question was, which way should I go to the lab? Or would it be better to find Benson and to ask to see Oswin? I'll go do it now.
You're going alone? I should go with you, just in case.
Thanatos needed to talk to someone. That little robot's pinning us against each other, isn't he? Rushing out of the dining room, my maid leave for the basement.
How long do we have again?
That depends on what you mean.
I froze in my place near the door as Oswin bolted out and nearly ran into me, grabbing me and quickly throwing me inside.
What did I tell you about sneaking around? How much did you overhear?
Something about how many days until something.
Oh good, you did hear that part.
Among what this experiment is, what were you doing in the dining room this morning?
Alright, so to cover what happened this morning, I wanted to go for a walk. If you weren't able to stop another iteration, what makes you think you could stop me now?
If you remember everything that we've done, then what's the point of doing anything at all? That's the same thing that Dean said. Even you asking that question, you know the answer before I say it. Gotta love how Dave suddenly has a fundamental understanding of pseudoscience, morphic resonance, and quantum butterfly effect theories. Yet he also thinks sponges break. I'd love to sit in on the therapy sessions as I know we'll be getting once all this is over.
Think about it this way, if I know how the conversation is going to go, I can guide it to how I want by saying the right things, yeah?
Oz, you created an omniscient robot!
You do not have free will.
No, but I do have my orders existing from way back to nearly the first time I woke up.
There is something worth bringing up here. Consider for a moment that he's orchestrating events to happen in a certain way. Perhaps the vision you saw only came about because Thanatos somehow manipulated you into causing it to happen.
We already know that he caused it to happen because of the sound traps, but yes, that's actually something that's been worrying me because of something Gris said.
The only thing I have to rationalize is that it's a paradox from which event came first. Presumably something happened and you could be expediting it the same sequence of events by a different means.
I know now, so what's the next job?
Keeping you alive, assuming you can keep Tyson sane for another night.
Why'd you tell Thanatos to drive Tyson insane?
I did no such thing.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think you did, Oz. This is Florencia's doing. This is her way of controlling the situation. She gets to sit back and be no part of anything, while the sentient Epson printer here does all the work. So to double check, you came into the dining room this morning to do something, and did that knowing you'd be caught and then left.
Just setting up a failsafe. If I found myself in a timeline with Memphis, I'd rather not have my body damaged. More people that can repair me, the better.
Boy, you must hate see-through E-timelines then.
Good thing it's not your experiment anymore, then less than sign, is it? You're just going to have to find out for yourself.
You know, it's been bouncing around in my head for the last couple months. Thanatos is a robot. Could it be that he's being controlled by someone? No, it's not possible. He's an artificial intelligence. He clearly has a will of his own. Freaking stinking laws of robotics. I'm amazed how this story has managed to finagle having Thanatos as literally a double agent, but also us knowing that he is willingly, and us being able to do nothing about it. Everything is building, and it's gonna hit the fan real fast. You know, it's getting harder for me to remember to check alternate timelines during these videos. Last update, I completely blanked and forgot that Oz could die, and that there was a B path at all. Or what might happen if the recent password was missed too. We've been dealing with C, D, and E paths for so long, I have to remind myself I no longer have to go back and check. I swear the flowchart Grizz must have for this game must be staggering. We're starting with Orlando's route this time because Boar recommended I did. Also, it gives me a little time to mentally prepare myself to deal with Yogi later. Orlando, can we talk?
What's wrong?
Why did you keep your family from me? About who they are?
What do you think? You've been playing dad. He's killed you on multiple timelines at this point. I was scared you'd hate me. I just assumed you'd piece it together at some point.
Orlando, buddy, you put way too much faith in Dave's intellect. I'm worried about what's going to happen, when we're going home, and if we're ever going to get home. Not gonna lie, Dave, that's also been a thought of mine at this point. When I went out into the woods by myself, and a couple times before, I'd thought about it, about how if it were all just to end, then wouldn't that be easier? Never thought about things like that before Dad died. Some vacation, huh? Honestly, Orlando's taking this a lot better than I thought he would. Even if we survive, I lose my best friend after this month, Orlando.
I should just make a mess of things not telling you, huh?
And there's the whole thing with Tyson and the password, and it's just...
Hold on, what password?
There we go. Orlando snapped back to reality. It happened again. I got the vault to work.
The others deserve to know.
There's time. We can figure out a way to stop it from happening, just might take some work.
Well, where do we start?
I was thinking about this the other day. Obviously, failing the day 17 password splits the timeline, which means Orlando and a number of other people are gonna die by day 19 if things don't get fixed. But something I kinda can't figure out is why would this even matter? Even if we're not on Tyson or Orlando's routes, wouldn't it still make sense that Dave would want to investigate the sound that he heard? Which would inevitably lead him to Thanatos, which would in turn lead him to what Thanatos is doing, which in turn would lead us to try to thwart Thanatos' plans, which in turn would save Tyson. Maybe I'm missing a gap in logic here.
You've got an idea. I'm not going to like it, am I?
What if we investigated your death, again?
I don't really think that's going to help, is it?
I hardly see a reason to. Roswell already figured that whole thing out for us. What do we got to lose? It's the only lead we've got unless you found where I die.
This is the last time, okay?
Okay, so what do we know? Well, let's see, Dave. If memory serves, we figured out that Orlando died by a lethal injection of sleeping medication injected by a pneumatic injector, the same kind that Sal would have used. Given Orlando feels relaxed around Sal and that Sal was hypnotized at the time, he wouldn't have raised alarm at the fact, which really just comes down to the fact of whoever Hypnos is.
Are you sure I didn't breathe in some sort of neurotoxin or something and fell over?
No, Orlando, you didn't. That was an early theory of mine that got laughed at, so no, that didn't happen. I kind of wonder if since we're going over Orlando's death right now, if we're gonna get to do that for Dean's too. Honestly, if we do, I'd be very interested to find out. His death is still the only one that I don't understand. I think you mentioned once that you can't get drunk.
I guess I get drunk, but it's going to take a lot given how fast I burn off the alcohol internally. But that's not the only reason we can rule out poisoning.
With a thumb, Orlando flicked his necklace.
Something Grandpa left me, just in case something like that happens given I'm the son of, well, a crime family.
So it's like a antidote? How is a necklace going to save you from poisoning?
By eating it!
You know what? I'm not going to question it. Let's just roll with it.
It's a special, I guess rock isn't really the right word either. But have you ever heard of a bezoar? I don't know how to pronounce that word.
What the heck is that? Bezoar. A solid mass of indigestible material that accumulates in your digestive tract, sometimes causing blockage. Are you telling me your necklace is effectively a gallstone?
Get with me on this because it's going to be a little gross, but it's a rock-like thing that gets grown in your stomach.
That came out of your belly?
Grandpa's, actually.
Okay.
Sometimes things crystallize in our stomachs, almost like eating charcoal. Grandpa had his removed and then figured that it was an easy way to keep me safe in an unassuming way.
Not gonna lie, Orlando, I was really expecting something better than that, considering you're a dragon. I wasn't expecting your necklace to effectively be a hairball.
Roswell said something about an injection, right? That stuff that used Incredibles on death row?
Yes, Dave, we know. It's Sal. He was hypnotized. We've been over this.
There's another option, you know.
Oh, yeah? Who?
What about Oswin?
No, I don't know.
We're not closer to figuring out why this is happening, are we?
Look, Orlando, the original deaths are long behind us at this point. They honestly don't even matter anymore. All we've got is that your dad wants a vault, and that's it.
If we had reception, I tried to call Grandpa.
Did you say he was dead? No, Dave, he explained this multiple times.
I did.
Yes. No, you didn't, Orlando. Okay, yes, you did. But then you explained otherwise.
I might have over-exaggerated. Grandpa is old. Very old, even by dragon standards.
You see, this is what I don't get about Dave. He will pull random, tiny little bits of information that no one should rightly remember out of the blue when it matters. But in an entire conversation like this that we've already had with Orlando, he does not remember a single detail about. Granted, we're getting more information than we did before, but we already knew that Tennessee is effectively dragon dementia.
I think the one thing I am thankful for is Grandpa releasing Watanuki Senpai from service. I don't want to know what Dad would do with a tanuki that could actually transform into other people.
Freaky. Grizz was in the Mafia. Cool. Okay. The only thing we've got to go off of is Tyson's behavior lately. He's not himself.
Got the idea to the calls.
Gee, Orlando, maybe we should ask Johnny Five's persona. I'm sure he's around here somewhere. We split off from there to begin our search. Or really me beginning to make mine, and Orlando was likely just to head to the kitchen to keep his mind off what was about to happen. First thing my eyes landed on was a pile of things off to the side that seemed to be collected from around the house. Rifling through the pile to see what he'd gotten, most of it seemed to be semi-expensive stuff from the games room.
You looking to put that stuff back or add it to the pile?
Look, we've already been over this. I don't need to deal with you again, okay? You know, I think back to the original hedge maze thing where Tyson apparently had his pockets full. At the time, I really thought that was just a clue pertaining to the metal thing that we find when he dies. Instead, I guess it was just hinting to his effect as a kleptomaniac. Huh. I just realized Dave looks under the bed first. That's where Thanatos was hiding. That's a good little bit of foreshadowing, I like that.
Iterative design at its finest, yeah?
I stepped out into the foyer in search of Dean. He'd know what to say, right? Or at least he'd be willing to listen. Dean, are you out here?
At the greenhouse, come on in.
Hi, Dean. I just realized that for a third of my videos, I was wearing a dragon hairball around my neck. How have you been? I just wanted to talk.
We need to talk?
Oh, good. I have him on the defensive. I found out my dad was here recently. Plus all the stuff seeing people die, I just...
Wait, your dad was here recently? But isn't he?
I have his license to prove it.
Did you want to look into why your dad was here, or?
I know why my dad was here, but Dean flashed a wry smile before I continued.
Keep together, knives. Together. Don't use the bear mace yet.
I want to talk about how I saw you die.
Again?
We didn't get anywhere last time. Yes, we didn't get anywhere last time, Dean, because you couldn't keep it in your freaking pants. We don't have a suspect or even really how you died, just that it happened.
Where do you want to start with that then? Should I get Orlando again?
Please don't. If anyone, get Roswell. He's the only one that can seem to help us.
Well, if it's just the two of us, where do you want to start?
We ruled out the death cap being the cause of death because of the time frame. You're still alive in front of me, so if you died from that, that would have happened days ago. Is there anything else in here that could kill?
Plenty of things if you ate or drink enough.
You wouldn't try that, would you? Or even accidentally. You did try the wax apple that one time.
You remember that? But no, I know what I was eating if it was any of those. The smell would give it away.
You mean like ammonia? We just went into the woods that day. Nothing special happened.
Mushroom foraging with you, then again with Roswell. Then Orlando made dinner and you needed to break outside during it after what you saw.
Roswell. What was that conversation about anyway? Don't my freaking... Why does everyone keep asking this question? Why does everyone keep asking this question? I see this on the server constantly. Yeah, what about the conversation with Roswell? Boy, Dean sure got upset after that when he got questioned about it. Does no one freaking remember that Dean explicitly explained what the conversation was about literally 2 lines later? You seem so sure that Roswell couldn't have been it, but you never really went into details about what you two spoke about. Yes, he did!
For good reason, Dave.
Oh my freaking god, this bear!
I lied. It wasn't all great, but most of it was. But I still stand firm that he couldn't have been the one to do it. He asked me to promise him that no matter what happens, I'll look out for you. Got a firm grip, though. Didn't think he'd have one when I offered to shake on it to seal the promise.
Okay, all this is doing is just passing the ball. This doesn't tell us anything. Outside of Roswell, we could ask, there's not much else to go off of. What if it was Roswell after all?
Okay, what if it was Roswell?
I could be misremembering, but there was something on your hand, like sugar maybe?
And sugar means Roswell?
I mean, well, actually, yes.
So just so I understand this right, we're assuming Roswell, who made me promise to look out for you, shook my hand, put something on it, and then at some point I died from it.
Yeah, I know, that's that's a stretch even.
But if something was on his hand, wouldn't he have died? You interrupted me during dinner, not him. Also means he kept his cool for days after, too. Plus, if it was just depth cap spores, he would have died after 6 days, too, right?
What if it wasn't death cap spores? Okay, sure, we could go down that route. But now that just opens up an immense possibilities that we don't even know what that could be then.
Roswell planned to do it, and that's a big if. I can't think of any reason why he'd do things leading up to it. So what happens now? Did you want to talk about this some more? Did you want to go ask Roswell?
I just don't know who else it could be, but I also don't want to go doubting a friend. There's still the password thing to solve too.
Right, you never did get around to telling me what's going on with that.
It's Tyson.
Given how he was behaving this morning, I suppose I could see it. That doesn't give us a whole lot of options.
Maybe there's something going on to stop him from sleeping. Or maybe there's something happening in his room.
Should we go check?
Yeah, okay, Dean. Let's split up, gang. We actually got nothing from that. And the substance on Dean's hand is maybe not the spores and maybe something else.
I'm never gonna solve Dean's murder, I swear. Yeah, Thanatos, I know. It was you, under the bed, doing the speakers, blah, blah, blah. We've done this before.
Speaking of, didn't need to hear what any of you and that bear got up to.
Ah, yes, thank you, Thanatos, for reminding me of that scene. I almost forgot that none of my choices mattered for that. I made my way downstairs and was about to head into the dining room before almost running into Dean on his way out.
Oh, I seem to be running into you a lot lately.
Sorry, I was just coming back.
Just as well. I was about to come looking for you. Did the search go well?
Oh yes, Dean, we made a lot of progress. We found out that the local Fazbear is behind everything. Having worked at your brother's pizzeria, I'm sure you're familiar with this concept. There wasn't anything wrong with his bed, really, just something under it that was setting off a noise that was making his head hurt.
How did it get there?
Ty's been stealing things from around the house, it looks like, so he probably picked something up from somewhere. His room was a mess, so chances are it just rolled under the bed.
Ooh, Dave's trying to lie.
I scratched my cheek, wondering if it was convincing enough, and checked to see Dean's reaction. Congratulations, Dave, you somehow seem to be in the clear. You didn't do your little telltale laugh that was apparently your tell anyway. Then again, you were just fooling Dean, so it's not that impressive of a feat. So just getting him through tonight and tomorrow night, and we're in the clear. Should be easy enough.
Oh, right. Before I forget, tomorrow night, I need you for a thing.
Yes, Dean, I know.
A good thing, you'll like it.
Oh, we'll see about that, Dean. We'll see about that.
You know, it's a first, but honestly, I'm sort of disappointed by this update.
We learned about Orlando's necklace, so that side mystery is finally solved. And I'm sure it'll come in handy later somehow. Plus we learned bits about Rami, which I guess is pretty neat. But like, in terms of Orlando's second investigation, we didn't learn anything of value. The story tried to throw shade at Benson for some reason, but we've all but confirmed it was Sal while he was hypnotized already. The fact he may or may not have used the secret passage to get to the basement is irrelevant at this point. As for Dean's investigation, though, that just felt like a bait and switch. Like I thought we might finally get some answers to clear his murder. I mean, this is likely our last time we'll ever revisit that part of the story. And we learned nothing. Again. All the investigation did was attempt to make Roswell sus and disqualified any suspicions we might have had about what the substance on Dean's hand was. If anything, we took a step back and have even less relevant information than before, it feels like. I get the feeling I'm gonna play through this whole game when it's done, get the true ending, uncover all the secrets, and by the end, I'll still have no idea how Dean died.